You're still on to Wednesday's edition of Golden Ride, and right about now, we are in an economy where the need for us to go cashless, it's all about the town now. And so I have right here in the studio some gentlemen who together will be taking us through an expose on the cashless economy. And so quickly, I'd like to welcome and join me in a discussion. God bless Otubere of the CBN cashless economy and the cashless consultant. I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you very much.
And sitting very closely, I have John Onoha, also of the CBN.
Yes.
I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you.
And on my extreme end, I have Chinedu Udeguna, also of the CBN. I'd like to welcome you. We are in an economy where they say we need to go cashless. And so, John, I'd like you to quickly take it away. What is the CBN doing as regards the cashless economy policy?
Well, thank you very much. The cashless policy came into life after the banking intervention of 2009. So the Bankers Committee, together with CBN, decided to look for ways to reduce the interest cost to serve by 30%, and also increase access of, funds for people that actually need loans. Because we discovered that most people that were getting loans were oil companies, so we wanted the money to get to those that actually need them, and also to drive financial inclusion.
Okay, Mr. Godbless, now, what is the central bank? Why are they actually introducing the cashless policy? And what are the benefits of this new policy?
Pretty much, if you take it from what my colleague has said, what John has said, is that it is important that we include so many people in the financial net, as it is called. The cost of printing cash alone can be a big issue. I think at some point it was about 9 billion.
96 billion.
96 billion. So you can imagine how much that would mean for bankers and institutions who need to now make monies from handling money. But imagine when we can do these transactions with less cash, and then even people are safer. That's one angle. Another thing we're looking at again is transparency. When you begin to do things that we can trace rather than Ghana must go cash that you cannot trace, people are not likely to steal, monies in the drove that we've seen. Another one again is security. The story is told of a lady who went to withdraw 50,000 from a commercial bank, and she came out of the bank and robbers came to attack her because they thought she had so much money. Before she could even explain that all I have is 50,000, they had shot her leg, and for 1 year and 6 months she nursed the pain. So if she had just transferred the money to the person that needed the cash without going to the bank, that wouldn't happen. And so the reason is right there for us to see. Why CBN is introducing this policy is to encourage more people to get into the financial net, see how we can ease payment and save lives more.
Okay, I think I'd like to appreciate that. Chinedu, does this cashless policy mean that there will be no cash in circulation, or people would not be allowed to use cash any longer?
Okay, thank you very much. Definitely there will be cash in circulation, but the aim of CBN here is to reduce the number of cash we have in circulation.
Yeah.
So we are not eliminating the use of cash, rather we are reducing the quantity of cash we have.
Okay, so when is the cash policy taking effect, especially in Delta State, and the nationwide implementation of this policy?
Okay, in Lagos and some few states, it's going to take place as from 1st of April. But in Delta State, it's starting from the 1st of May.
From the 1st of May. All right, John, does this cashless policy mean bank customers won't have access to their money? And possibly, are there any restrictions on the amount of cash customers can pay or also withdraw?
Yeah, the customers would have access to their money, but then when they go above the threshold that we've set, they will begin to pay the excess on the additional money that they withdraw. Example, when the limit for an individual is 500,000 for both withdrawal and lodgement deposits. So when you go above 500,000, the difference from the amount, let's say 600,000 for example, you're going to pay 100,000, you're going to pay the fee on 100,000 naira. So what it is you have access to your money, but when you go above the threshold, you pay a service charge for that.
Okay, so how much now will I be charged when I withdraw cash above the threshold, like you said?
Okay, let's say for example you withdraw. If you withdraw below 500,000, it's free. So when you withdraw above 500,000 up to 1 million, you pay 1.5% above 500,000 naira that you withdraw.
Okay, will these charges be paid per transaction, daily or monthly? Because I know a lot of people would want to know how that works.
Yeah. So it's a good question. Thanks for asking it. It's going to be a cumulative total. So if you come to the bank frequently, at the end of the day, they will do a calculation of how much you've withdrawn so far or deposited. If it's above the threshold, so the amount that exceeds the threshold will be the amount that will be charged cumulatively per day.
Okay, Chinedu, we've heard cases of third-party checks still being cashed over the counter. In this present dispensation, can the third-party checks be cashed over the counter, and can withdraw multiple checks of 150,000 each day not be a breach on this policy?
Okay, thank you very much. With this revised policy, any third-party check that is above 150,000 must be paid into the accounts. It can't be cashed over the counter.
Okay.
So that is how the policy works.
Okay, will a signatory to a corporate account now be allowed to withdraw over 3 million on the corporate account since he is one person?
Yep, he can withdraw, but the charges will apply.
Okay. Okay. You have a right to that as well?
Let me add to that. Yes, he can withdraw, but I think the banks, corporate accounts, you can't withdraw money. You have to write a check to yourself. But because of this third-party check that we talked about, above 150,000 naira, you can't cash any check above 150,000 naira. So they would likely be going to be doing a transfer. But if it's a sole signatory, yes, definitely you can.
Okay, God bless. What are the alternatives to cash payments, and how do I now assess that?
The alternatives to cash payments are clearly stated if you go to the CBN website. But the one that is really popular that anybody can access is the POS machines. Okay. We have mobile apps, and then we also have USSD platforms. These are alternatives to cash payments that have worked in other parts of the country, and the CBN just, in carrying all parts of the country along, we're bringing it to Delta State and to other parts of the country that have not yet come into the cashless program.
Okay, right now, how does a merchant get a POS? For example, I need a POS. How do I get it, and what does it cost to have it? Are there any charges on the amount spent by a customer? For example, if I run a shop now.
Okay, well, for a merchant who wants to get a POS, you can't come to the CBN to give you a POS.
Okay.
You go to your commercial bank. The commercial banks are the ones that are the bodies to handle those sort of transactions, because your account is in your bank. So the banks are there to help you and advise you on how to get them. And yes, certainly there are charges. And they are really very minimal, really minimal. So John was talking to some of our people yesterday, and he made the comparison of, imagine if you were not paying charges on your POS machines that help you do your payment process, and you were taking those monies to the bank. You would go to the bank, you would pay transport, you have risk to life, so cashless policy is not a free, but it's a really minimal way of just saying encourage people. When we get to that segment, we'll talk about how that is also creating jobs. We'll dwell more on that. But to get your POS machines, you go to the banks, and then they would advise you better on how to do it, and then they would also give you a better explanation on the charges you pay as you use the program moving forward.
All right, Chinedu, now Nigeria, we have well over 170 million people, and that means that not every person is literate as regards these cashless policies. Now, more than half of the Nigerian population are not literate. How will they use the e-payment process?
Okay, thank you for that question. You mustn't be able to read or write before you know how to make use of your mobile phone.
Okay.
So whether you went to school or not, whether you go to school or not, you should be able to know how to use your mobile phone. And if you are good with your mobile phone, you can do mobile transfer. So it doesn't affect it at all.
Okay, John, now, how prepared are we in terms of infrastructure? Is CBN working with the Nigerian question that will support the electronic payments such as network, power, etc.
Yeah.
You know, presently we are not too sure of 24 hours of uninterrupted power supply.
Yeah.
So how prepared now is CBN in that regard?
Well, CBN we're very much prepared. If you let's recall that this policy should have gone live in 2014. Yeah, 2014, but it was suspended because we wanted to assess the level of our infrastructure, and we've taken time and we're working with NICOMSAT, Nigerian Communication Satellites, yeah. So to provide hotspots in specific regions. In terms of 24-hour electricity, yes, it's peculiar in Nigeria. We have told the POS manufacturers to have POS machines that could withhold power for 24 hours. So that one is not an issue when it comes to POS. So as far as readiness, we are good to go. We cannot wait to be perfect, because the longer we wait, we probably will not get perfect. No one is perfect. So as far as infrastructure is concerned, we are in a good place right now.
There are risks involved in using the alternative channels, for example, the ATM fraud. What is CBN now doing to address this card fraud?
Yeah, there's fraud everywhere. Even with your cash, there's fraud. Even in your own house, there's fraud everywhere. But what we're doing is this right now. We're sensitizing the public. We want people to be aware about how this works. People will come up with devices to ridicule the policy. So we're saying, if you're going to use the ATM, don't expose your PIN number. Hide your cards. People are smart. Someone can just copy your card and use it behind your back, go clone your card. And one good thing we've done also is to introduce the chip and pin cards. Okay. In the past, you can be sleeping and you get alerts, from different areas, because then we only had the magnetic stripe. So now with the chip and pin, it's harder for one to steal your money using your ATM card, unless your PIN is compromised. So we're saying, be careful, be vigilant. Don't go about giving out your PIN. People will send their drivers to go withdraw money for them, give them their PIN. That's exposure, But thank God for chip and PIN, though. It's going to be hard for the driver to clone that card. You understand? And then we have the Nigerian Electronic Fraud Forum called NEF. What we do is we collaborate with banks, switches, members of the banking industry. We come together every other month to discuss new trends in the system. As they come up, we tackle them, we close their gap. These guys will never rest. They will keep at it. And as they're doing this, we are doing ours as well. Even doubling up.
Okay, you double it up.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I like that. What is CBN now doing about unresolved issues with banks and ATM card fraud or dispense errors that drag for too long? Because we've had cases of people who go to the banks, they're fixing their ATM, and before you know it, drags it up, takes it, and it drags on.
That's a very important question. So we have the Consumer Protection Department in the CBN. So what they do is you bring your complaints to them when you have tried going through your bank and your issue isn't resolved. But normally the reversal should occur instantly. But in a case where it doesn't occur, we'll say give it 24 hours. If it doesn't occur, it's a dispense error. The next day, go up and go report to your bank, or report to your bank immediately so they are aware. So when the reversal doesn't come in 24 hours, you can then approach the bank. When you give them 2-3 weeks, it's not resolved, write to CBN. We'll take up your case. We've recovered several monies, we're not playing. Once you write to Consumer Protection Department, the director would assign your case to a particular staff who is in charge of the particular bank that you bank with.
All right, thank you very much, John. God bless. I need you to take this away now.
Okay.
We're looking at the POS transaction as a process. How do you resolve a POS transaction dispute where a customer's account was debited and the merchant has not received a letter or receipt for that transaction. Will the merchant release the goods, or will the customer go without the goods?
Usually, this happens a lot because of network failures.
Okay.
They've debited you and they've not credited the person in terms of and sometimes when they debit you, they credit the person and the person doesn't get the alert. So these are all network problems. But one of the ways in which we have, discovered that people can resolve this is actually people should start taking advantage of the hotlines of their mobile banks. Like John said, write an email, send an email to CBN. CBN will be open to responding to you. Send an email to your bank as well. And then another thing again is, if you have a good relation, I think this is the part where your account officer is also important. You need to have a good relationship with your account officer. So you buy something and then you've been debited and the person is saying no. You can call your account officer to say, can you just help me confirm to this person that I've been debited, and and can you help me check to see if that has happened. So it's a problem and it takes a process for it to be solved. I know a lot of people want those issues resolved almost the same minute it happens, but sometimes it really doesn't work like that. So.
Yeah, John, some retailers experience people spending small amount, for example, 100 naira, but these add up to about 3 million to 5 million daily.
Yeah.
These retailers have multiple outlets across the nation, but have one corporate account. For example, Mr. Biggs, Sizzlers, and what have you. Is the central bank going to exempt them for deposit or remove limits on cash deposit?
No, the central bank will not exempt them. The only people that are exempt from these charges are embassies and diplomats, ministries, departments, and agencies. Well, for federal and state government, only on lodgement, revenue generating accounts only. Everybody else is subjected to be charged. So what we tell them is to get their POS working, call their bank officer to ensure that they have functioning POS, and they encourage their customers to use POS. Perhaps they could also add an incentive to it. You get a discount when you pay with your POS, through a POS or mobile transfer. So no exemptions for them. We are just calling on them to help us with this policy by making sure that they also participate in the campaign and making sure the policy works. Okay,
so we'll begin to round up now. God bless. The formal sector finds it easy to accept the new policy. How about the informal sector? For example, people that collect money at the motor parks. Will this policy not increase unemployment? And also what it's been done to sensitize people who cannot read and write?
In answering that question, it's important that we understand that there's a particular travel company right now that does road travel that have gone online and they are pushing the whole cashless boundary. For the sake of advert, I'm not going to call their names, but if you book online for their travel fare, you get a 10% discount. That's for the benefit of the person who is booking online. So you don't go to the park with cash. You can actually travel with that travel line. Just take your bag, go to the park. They tell you your name. You look at it, they print your ticket to you. You go into the car, no money, nothing. Everything cashless. So do we have motor parks in Delta State that are still using cash? What we're simply telling them is, it's been done elsewhere. You can do it here. And it's not in any way going to increase unemployment. The funny thing is, when you take out a particular thing that people do to give them money, what you are creating is something else that they can do that can also give them money. So someone has to learn how to code. Someone has to learn how to write the program that creates the ATM. Someone has to learn how to print, to print that paper. Somebody has to learn how to build an application, right? If you build an application that solves payment for, let's say, a GoFree, I'm just name calling now, you have simply created employment. You created a company out of it. Somebody is going to be employed. You've got to have staff that will manage that whole process. These guys who are collecting monies in the park before, who seemingly are now unemployed, can now learn a new skill to get into a new economy where there's no cash in, So motor parks are one of our best platform where cashless can actually come to.
Okay. I like to take you on this now. You just mentioned motor parks, and not everybody. On a lighter note, though, not everybody goes to the motor park. For example, I might not see a need for it. I need to go to Silicon now.
Yeah.
I might not see a need to go to the motor park. I just go out on the road and hike on the road. So how do I do the cashless policy at that point?
Great. So it is still almost the same thing.
Okay.
I know there was an advert one time where someone took a cab and it was time to pay, and the person says, "Can I have your account number?" And the man says, "Account number, okay. I better give me my money for my hand." And the lady said, "Sorry, I don't carry cash for hand." And he said, "Don't worry, just give me the account. You go see the alert now." And what he did was, or what she did to the driver was star something something star the account number hash, press send, and the guy got the alert and like, "You've been paid." So even if you are hiking and you don't have cash, which is actually happening today, it's already happening. Sometimes we go to the market to buy things, we don't have physical cash. We say, "I don't have cash with me. Can I transfer to you?" That's cashless policy. You're hiking on the road, you're going to the park, you're flying, you're whatever you're doing, the cashless policy covers you.
Okay, still on a lighter note, I'm driving and I see bushmeat and I need to buy, and I don't have cash with me. Do you think the seller would allow me to transfer money to his account? He says, "I want to see my cash," and he needs to use that money to go replace it.
Let me answer that in this format. Cashless policy does not just work with one person.
Okay.
So you have your ATM, right? The woman has her POS.
Yeah.
The other person somewhere else. So we were on a media platform. Someone called in to say, "I buy things in the north," right?
Adamawa,
John, you remember?
yeah.
Adamawa also. That I buy things in the north and I have to carry all the cash from Delta to the north. That if those people there have POS, I don't have to take the cash. Central Bank is reaching out to those people already, right? So we're giving those people the opportunity to go to their banks and get POS. So the woman who sells grass cutter on the road in one remote village has a POS or accept USSD.
Has an account.
Now. And so apart from the the commercial banks, microfinance banks are going into the rural areas and spreading their tentacles.
If I may, when everybody has an account, as we assume, but if in the case where the bushmeat seller doesn't have an account, I mean, she doesn't sell, you don't eat bushmeat. But if the person has an account, you can always transfer to the person.
Okay, so just before I let you go, gentlemen, what is the inclusiveness now of this policy as it affects the virtually impaired and those in the villages?
It's a good question. Those that are impaired, they have people that assist them. When you say impaired, you mean those that are visually impaired, blind people? Yeah. Well, they have people they trust that look after them. So we hope that those people would, be fair to them and not cheat them. So they are the ones that are probably doing their banking services for them, their feeding, clothing, and everything like that. So we expect that it continues that way. Okay,
now how prepared is CBN to enforce this policy? Because we know Nigerians, being what we are, policies come and go. Government come and says, "Okay, I don't like this policy." Do you really think it's going to be very convenient and comfortable for Nigerians?
Well, it took us a while to get where we are today. Like I said, this policy should have gone live for July 2014, and we put a stop to it till now we're ready to go live with it. So we're prepared to enforce it. We're working with the banks. So we're telling consumers that if you go withdraw an amount above the threshold, you will pay a charge for it. We're trying to reduce the costs of operations for banks. That way we will generate funds that we can loan out to people that are actually doing farming business. So are we prepared? Yes, we're prepared to enforce it. report enforcement. When you withdraw above the threshold, you pay the charge. And we are optimistic that the next government that comes in place would be in support of it.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, Chinedu.
Let me just add.
What's your message now to begin to say
we want to
advice?
use this medium to solicit the support of the bankers community, because without their support, we can't actually achieve our aim. So we need them to support us to help us achieve this our goal.
And also, just so to mention that the cashless policy sensitization is starting in Asaba, Delta State, on the 20th today of March. We'll be in Delta State for the next 5 days. So we're going to Ughelli. From Ughelli, we'll go to Abraka. From Abraka, we'll go to Warri, where we'll be at the Ibudu Market, the Abraka Campus, the Ughelli General Market, and we're having a town hall with the chiefs of the Olu of Warri, just so we have inclusiveness in how we roll out this sensitization, so that there's no part of the state that is not carried along. So we're covering the 3 senatorial districts because we really want Delta to come upstream and get everybody involved so that we move forward.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless. But I expected you to say you were going to carry Sapele along. Since you come from Sapele, okay, that's it.
Of course, we're getting Sapele involved as well. Sapele gets DBS. So and you're going to watch this, and I'm calling on everybody, all my friends and family in Sapele. You need to embrace cashless policy, and so let's get to join other parts of our state to do what is right for our people.
All right, that's been it. There's a need for us to join the cashless policy, and actually it will make life worth living. I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless Otubere, the cashless consultant. I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
And my friend John Onoha.
That's right.
I'd like to thank you. Chinedu Udegwina.
Thank you.
I'd like to also thank you very much. And so that is how we'll be wrapping this particular segment on Golden Ride. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Golden Ride continues. Don't go away.